Hi everybody, welcome to Sniper Elite 5, and in this video I'm going to suggest that maybe Sniper Elite 5 is the perfect Sniper Elite. So anyway, I'm a little bit late to the game with Sniper Elite 5. I played it when it first came out a few months ago, but I wasn't that enamoured at the time. There was a lot of other games that were going along, and you know me with my channel, I'm really busy with things like DayZ and PUBG and things like that. But traditionally I've been a really massive Sniper Elite and Zombie Army fan. I remember when I just used to play like Call of Duty and Battlefield, seeing Sniper Elite 3 in the store on the PlayStation store, PlayStation 4, and I was thinking, oh, that looks really good, a World War II game. Really cool. And then it went in the sale for something silly. I remember getting Sniper Elite 3, playing it and going, oh wow, this is amazing. This is the kind of game that you dreamt of when you were smaller, especially if you were British and you were of a certain age and you read comics like Commando or Warlord or Battle. And this was kind of it, you got this hero taking on the Nazis in Sniper Elite 3's case, in North Africa, which is, a fantastic campaign. And then Sniper Elite 4 came out, and that was pretty cool. The problem with Sniper Elite 4 is some of the levels, I think, were a little bit too big, and they didn't stand out that much, especially the ones in the towns, the urban ones, where things like the viaduct level with the big gun on the viaduct were absolutely amazing, weren't they? But I mean, the systems were better. And then Sniper Elite 2 Remastered came out, and I must admit I was a bit disappointed with that when it first came out because there were lots of bugs in it. I remember really enjoying Sniper Elite 2 because what I did was I hunted down and got a disc copy of Sniper Elite 2 for the Xbox 360 and played Sniper Elite 2 on the Xbox 360, and I really enjoyed it. And I think I expected more from the Sniper Elite 2 Remaster. And when it still had some of the bugs in, I was a bit like, oh, okay. And although it looked good, and you could argue that Sniper Elite 2 with its more linear mode is really enjoyable because you don't have to wander everywhere. But the remaster, wasn't that much of a fan of. Massive fan of Zombie Army Trilogy. I consider Zombie Army Trilogy to be probably in the top 3 best single-player shooter campaignes ever. It is such a brilliant game, Zombie Army Trilogy, and quite like Zombie Army 4. I'm kind of, I've completed it, I haven't done any of the season passes, I'm kind of warming to it a little bit more now. And then I didn't like the VR Sniper Elite for PlayStation VR. I didn't think that was very good, didn't enjoy that at all. So then Sniper Elite 5 came out. And it was on Game Pass, so I didn't have to buy it, so that's good. So I got it free on Xbox Series S and PC. And PC is what you're kind of seeing now, but I'm playing with the controller. And I played the first level or so in the tutorial and made some videos about it, and I was like, yeah, it's kind of okay, but the movement felt a little bit off. I don't like, there was some lag in the controls, and it didn't really grab me in a way. And as I had lots of other games to play, I make content for like DayZ and PUBG and Battlefield and things like that, I kind of put it to one side. But recently I thought, no, I want to go back to it, and there's been several updates to it, and the movement feels much better now. Feels more like a Sniper Elite game. And having played it and used the new systems more, I've got to say, I think they've cracked it. I think they've cracked the big problem that Sniper Elite had, which was stealth movement in urban environments, as you move around buildings and things. Because the problem was, especially if you were playing on levels where you didn't have any tagging or didn't tag people, is it was very easy to just, creep round a corner and then bump into an enemy. If you were lucky, you would melee kill them fast. Most of the time, though, they would, if you didn't spot them, they would shoot you, they'd set an alarm off and let you get attacked. And then everything would fall apart for your stealth run. You'd have to retreat somewhere and then kill a load of enemies. And it would often break the immersion as well. I know Sniper Elite is a video game, but it kind of breaks the immersion when you're going through an enemy base and you kill some people, they set an alarm off, and they all start attacking you, and you kill them all, and then the rest of them kind of go, all right, there we go, back to work, even though there's all these dead bodies around. I know it's a video game now, but I think with this new focus mode, they've really cracked it, because it means, I think anyway, that moving around in the close quarters environments of buildings, in this case in this castle, it's fantastic. It's amazing. It's brilliant. I think I might even like it more than the sniping. It's so good because you can go to focus mode. You can Carl uses his hearing to kind of see through walls. Now I know that sounds silly, and I felt the same way when I had to go with the focus mode in the tutorial at the beginning of the game. I was like, this is rubbish. This shouldn't be in the game. Carl can't see through walls. He's not a superhero. But that's not what's happening. What's happening is he's going quiet. He's moving slowly. He's just listening. And then, because if you were there in real life, you would be listening very carefully, wouldn't it? And you can tell where people are by listening, can't you? And go, all right, they're there. And that gives you the ability, or stops you having the problem of going around a corner and bumping into enemies. So that is really, really good. And as you can see in this gameplay I'm showing here, basically it's all stealth kills I'm getting. I do shoot someone with a sniper rifle at the end and with a pistol. But it makes moving around in these environments that were generally a pain in the bottom when you're moving around houses and enclosed environments, makes them a pleasure, makes it really, really good, honestly. And, the other things that are great about Sniper Elite, if you didn't know already, it's set, I think, in the perfect era for video game shooters. World War II doesn't get any better than, World War II doesn't get any better. Okay, you could all argue the Modern Warfare era is good. World War II is the best. And what's amazing about Sniper Elite, and this goes for all the titles as well, you can play it as an arcade game on the easier levels where you can run around and just shoot all the enemies like a Call of Duty single-player level or a Battlefield single-player level, or you can crack it up to sort of Sniper Elite difficulty where there's no tagging, there's no clouds around the enemies. You can get rid of the mini-map, and it becomes basically a military simulator then, where you're creeping around. It's incredibly difficult, and levels take hours and hours to do. It has good graphics. I think the graphics engine kind of grows on you the more you play it. Often when you start playing Sniper Elite, if you haven't played it for a while, you're like, oh, this looks a bit odd. But then your brain kicks in, I think, and goes, oh yeah, this is good. The AI they have in Sniper Elite 5 is pretty good. They're pretty good. You do still get some funny situations that happen, when the AI will run past you. This happens in this gameplay as well. And you do have to put aside the fact that often AI, there's been a big gunfight and there's a load of dead bodies hanging around, the AI will ignore them. Yeah, it's okay, it's fine, you can turn the alarm off, but that's because this is a video game, and you can turn the difficulty up so that if you get into that situation where alarm goes off and the enemies attack you, basically you've got no chance, you'll die. You can go to that difficulty if you want. But the AI is pretty good. The sound is good. The guns sound better than they used to. I always felt that the guns in Sniper Elite felt a little bit tinny, but they sound a bit better. Has good music, has a really good atmosphere, and obviously we got the sniping, which is really cool with the X-ray death cam. Where you see inside people's bodies as they explode. And I quite like the fact that in Sniper Elite 5 they don't give you suppressed guns straight away in terms of suppressed sniper rifles. They don't give you the suppressed weapon, they don't give you the subsonic rounds straight away. You've got to unlock them as you go along. So I think that forces you, and maybe they've done this deliberately, to try out more of the stealth mechanics of creeping around and getting those melee kills and getting those close range kills with your suppressed pistol. So I think they've cracked it, and since I've really got into using the focus mode, and obviously going slowly, I've been loving Sniper Elite 5. Really, really loving it. I mean, this level I'm on now, I think it's called, it's something to do with, I think it's called Spy School or something. You're trying to find this meeting between the nasty Germans. It seems, I've really loved this. This is up there with the best Sniper Elite levels I've played. And the previous one as well was really cool as well. Very much enjoyed that. So I'm really looking forward to playing more of the game. I've got more into the fact that the progression system as well, the way that you unlock stuff seems really good. I enjoy the fact that they've brought, you can pick up enemy weapons and use them for a time, and then you drop them as well. I mean, if you want to know, in order to drop them, you just change to one of your vanilla weapons as well. And I think, this is really, really cool. So, in other words, if you've never played Sniper Elite, highly recommend it. Remember, this is very, very slow gameplay. It's not an arcade shooter. Don't set it to the hardest difficulty. This is marksman, which I think is 2 down from hardest. When you first play Sniper Elite, set it to easy to get used to the controls and get used to it, and then start to ramp up the difficulty. If you play Sniper Elite 5 when it first came out, thought there was something off about it, it does seem to be much better now. So check it out. And when you are playing it, make sure you do go into that focus mode so you can see where enemies are, even if you haven't tagged them. It's only enemies that are close to you. And to do that, you press and hold left alt on PC, or if you're using a console or console controller attached to the PC, you click in the right thumbstick for like a second and then release it, and you'll go into focus mode, and then to get out of it you click it in and let it go. So there we go. There's my case for Sniper Elite 5 being pretty perfect, I think, as a Sniper Elite game. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more than Sniper Elite 4, more than Sniper Elite 3 I think as well, and more than Sniper Elite 2. I think this could be the best Sniper Elite, and yeah, I'm absolutely loving it. Anyway, that's enough from me. Hopefully you found the video interesting. If you have, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe. And I will, of course, see you again soon. Oh, and I'll leave you with the gameplay as well. Bye!
Wer ist da? Hallo?
This'll come in very useful.
Was sind das die größten Taugenichtser, die Deutschland zu bieten hat? War ich auch mal so ein Anfänger? Wahrscheinlich ja.
I could use this SMG.
Taugenichtser, die Deutschland zu bieten hat.